5:30 in the morning. She was doing really well. She wasn't getting up till 6:30, and all of a sudden, the end of last week, she started getting up really early again. And I had used adaptive on her one night because she was all excited and running around the house, and it was bedtime. And Shalene says, "That's what you need to do. You need to use it on her every night." So sure enough, I used it on her last night, and lo and behold, she made it to 6:15 again this morning.
That is awesome.
So, yeah. And then I've been doing my back layering again, and that's working really well. I'm really, really glad that I have those oils. And I've put that on our chat many times, but I can do that again if anybody's
Always good
interested.
Please do.
Yeah. Okay.
That'd be great.
Works wonderfully.
So when you layer the oils, it gives them a chance to just go in one at a time, and then you end it with deep blue rub, I think, right?
Yes.
It really presses everything in there. It's such a blessing to help with pain. So I have a story I have to share. I know you guys have all tripped on the bottom of your bed or something else and caught your toes and jammed your toes. And I did it Saturday night, and I screamed so loud that they heard me downstairs. And I went downstairs, and I was still kind of limping, but they weren't too bad. And I was just going out to swim with my grands. So I was out in the pool for 2 hours in cool water, came in, my foot was fine, had dinner, went to bed, and my foot was fine. I thought, well, you know, sometimes it really hurts and then it just is fine. So in the middle of the night at 3 a.m., my foot starts hurting, and it starts hurting worse. It starts hurting worse. And then I'm realizing that it's hurting right in the third toe where I caught my two toes. And I was like, oh my goodness, that's where I hurt my toe tonight. Why would it start hurting right now? You guys, it hurt so bad, I literally went into shock. I know that sounds ridiculous. Joe's out of town. I didn't want to wake anybody up. And I get up to look in the light to see if it's bruised or swollen, and it wasn't. And I start shivering and shaking, and my teeth start shaking, and my foot hurt so bad that I couldn't hardly walk. There's no way I was going to get downstairs to get any medicine. And I luckily had lavender up here, and I got in my bed with the lavender, and I put it on my foot, and it took the edge off. And 5 minutes later, I did it again. And 5 minutes later, I did it again. And it took the edge off just enough so that I could kind of sleep for the next couple of hours. And do you know what? When I got and stood up, it still hurt. I could bend these toes and couldn't even bend these toes. So something was wrong. And it swelled up just a little bit. And then the pain completely went away. Does anybody know about bodies and why that would happen? I don't even know. Why would your foot hurt? Not at all. And then hurt so bad that it was awful and then go away. I just don't even understand. I'm not saying the oils healed it. I'm just saying, I don't understand how I could go from not walking and feeling like I was. Anyway, I'm so thankful I had the lavender overnight that night. I am so thankful I had it. But I don't know. Sometimes I wish I had a doctor degree so I understood our bodies. Anybody else?
Don't we all?
Yes, yes, yes. Anybody else have an oil story for the week? Okie dokie.
I do. Can you hear
Laura.
me?
Yep. Go, Laura.
My dog was feeling kind of sick to her stomach, and she was passing gas, and I busted out the Digestin and rubbed it on her, and she was happy about it, and it did the job.
I love it. I love it. That's the blessing of Digestin. I call it the fastest acting oil there is. So nice job. Okay, we are going to continue on with LeeAnn today. And I'm going to tell you just a little bit about LeeAnn. Now, I met her about 5 years ago. She just walked into an office where I happened to be teaching a class that night on doTERRA. In those days, we did classes in person. And I didn't know her. And she was very attentive and sweet. When the class ended, she said, I just had met this girl named Sherry at a class, and she said you had classes here. And she showed us a picture of Sherry, and Sherry had moved to Utah. So we were like, so the blessing of LeeAnn joining and John joining our team and the blessing that she happened to come on the night I taught. And so Sherry said, why don't you just have her be on your team? And I'm so thankful to have the Lovitts on my team. They have taught me a lot about marriage. John and LeeAnn are just, I met them and I don't know, was it your 10th year anniversary? At that
Oh
first
yeah, the first
convention?
convention.
Yep, first convention, and I'm just barely getting to know the two of them in person. And they say it's their 10-year anniversary, and it just has been a joy to watch them for the last few years, see them work together and take their strengths and work together so beautifully in doTERRA and in life, and with their precious baby Val. And they are amazing people. I'm very thankful to have them in my life. And LeeAnn has had quite a journey with her health, and we're excited to hear about it tonight. So turn over to you, LeeAnn.
Actually, so sweet. Yeah. Do you think I'm at all different from when we met?
You are so different.
Yeah, right.
You are healthy, glowing, amazing. Yep.
Pretty crazy. It's a very transformative experience. I was, yeah, I felt bad all the time, and I was very anxious. I think just I was really shy. I remember coming to convention when I barely knew you, and I was like, I'm not even sure if I'm gonna recognize her when we get to Utah. I'm gonna find her. It's kind of crazy. So I made this PowerPoint, and I'm so happy with it. And I went to go pick up my daughter from school. And when I came back home, the computer had rebooted and it was all gone. So yeah, like nowadays, everything automatically saves online, right? Everything I use is online. But PowerPoint is not, and maybe there is a version of it that is, I don't know, but the one I was using wasn't, and I forgot I have to actually manually save that. So I'm just gonna have to wing it, and I
It'll be
have
great.
those slides, so you'll just be staring at my face the whole time, I guess.
Great.
So I was trying to think about, this transformation that I've experienced. And so I was diagnosed with narcolepsy in 2013. And in about 2011, I was in a pretty deep depression. And so what I really wanted to get at was our health is very largely impacted by our mindset, right? And that very much was shown in my journey. So 2011, deep depression, 2013, diagnosis of narcolepsy, 2015, I quit working and got on disability. 2016, I started the Lifelong Vitality Pack. So that is the vitamins from doTERRA, the vitamin complex. So it's got the multivitamin, it's got the omega complex with additional to that 9 essential oils, and then the alpha CRS, which is a antioxidant complex. And that's all kind of bundled into this one amazing package that you can get every month, instead of trying to do your vitamins kind of piecemeal. So, a lot of times you go to the doctor, the chiropractor, and they're like, well, you're low on vitamin D, so take that. And you need some calcium, and take this. And all of a sudden you've got, 10 different things, and it can be hard to keep track of. And you might start thinking, well, do I still need this one or that one? And that's what I really liked about the Lifelong Vitality, is that it's very simple. It's got everything that everybody needs on a regular basis. So when I joined doTERRA, it was actually 2014. And I had just started with Serenity Oil, and well, I would have also probably used the Serenity capsules, except they weren't out yet. So the Serenity oil, that was my gateway oil. I joined the company with just a single bottle because I wasn't ready to invest more at that point. But at the time, everyone kept saying, based on all the symptoms I had, I needed lifelong vitality. And then every time I reinvestigated it, I got the same answer. Everybody said this. And all the books said it too, not just the people. So finally in 2016, I was ready to try it. It's not super risky. I mean, 30-day money back guarantee, right? But I will tell you, I did not see results in 30 days. I was very, very sick, and I had to take it for 3 months before I saw the results. But I did see the results, and at the 3-month mark, I was able to get off all of my allergy medicines. And then at the 6-month mark, I was able to get off of my anti-anxiety and antidepressant medications. And at the 9-month mark, I was able to get off of the narcolepsy medication. So stimulants during the day, like Adderall, sleep aids at night, like Ambien. And then at the 12-month mark is when I was able to get off all of my painkillers, the opioids I was using for my back. So there's a lot going on there, but with the right nutrition from the Lifelong Vitality, I was able to slowly heal my body over the course of that year. And shoot, I mean, it's kind of fast in a way to heal the really significant problems I was dealing with. So it is, if you look up any chronic disease in the book, you're going to find it's that recommendation, that at the minimum, it's lifelong vitality. It's all the same. Everyone needs it. And so that's one really cool thing about the LLV is that if you came here and you're like, oh, she had narcolepsy and oh, she got off all her medications. I want to know, how did she do this? Like, you might be disappointed that it's really simple, or you might be really excited that it's really simple. So supplement, I did take some additional supplements along the way, doTERRA supplements. If you buy the Lifelong Vitality Pack, there are also the add-ons that you can put on it. So, if you add them on, they're cheaper than if you buy them in singles. So I was also taking the Mito 2 Max in the beginning. That's for energy. And the Deep Blue polyphenol, which is for muscle and joint pain. What's interesting about those two is that all of the ingredients of those are in the Lifelong Vitality. But if you are having bigger problems like I was, you just need more of those ingredients. And in my case, over time, I was able to stop taking those two and just dial it back into the Lifelong Vitality.
LeeAnn,
Also-
can I join in with a quick
Yeah.
story? Most of you might remember Diane Brault. She hasn't been on since coronavirus because Zoom is not her thing, but she's gotten really sick through the coronavirus. She got sepsis and in the hospital, and we almost lost her. And now she's slowly coming back and just doing so much better. And she contacted me today with a friend who is struggling and wanted to get some help from doTERRA. And she said in this text, she said, using the LLV and other doTERRA products before I got so sick, I almost didn't do it, but I did. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for saving my life. She said, I truly would not still be here if I hadn't been as healthy as I was before I got sepsis. And I felt so bad as she got sepsis because I thought, no, and we almost lost her and everything. And I thought, oh, but she was my poster child for using LLV and PB Assist and Terrazyme and all these good things. And for her to say today that she literally feels like she wouldn't have been here because she wouldn't have been so healthy before she got so sick. I just thought that was interesting.
It's amazing.
Timely.
Yeah. Yeah. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. I mean, I had major back surgery in February. I got rods in my spine. So, and I do believe that my speedy healing through that process was because I had been taking LLV for years beforehand. Yes, my doctors made me stop it, and I was really upset about it. I did stop it. I was obedient, and then I begged them. I think it was 2 months after the surgery. I begged them if I could take it, and they're like, "Yeah, it's probably fine." And I was like, "Ugh." But so and in fact, like they said, I would be able to lift my daughter at 4 months post surgery, and I was able to lift her at 2.5 months. So it's really been a powerful way to keep my body healthy. And what else? Oh, so the other add-ons, there's the PB Assist, which is the probiotic. And that is something that, well, most people probably consider they should always be taking one, right? Maybe not if you're doing some crazy nutrition stuff that's not typical in the American diet. But let's see, PB Assist and Terrazyme. Terrazyme's another one that is recommended for general health, digestive enzymes to be taking with meals, especially if you're eating processed foods, or if you're eating something that your body isn't good at handling. So those enzymes, fruits and vegetables, they have these enzymes in them already. So it's, just another way to get those nutrition into you. What other, there's kids vitamins as an add-on. I use those for my daughter. She's 3. It's designed for ages 4 and up. But my pediatrician said I could half the dose until she is 4. So that's what I've been doing. And it's half the price. It's great too. So, and that is a multivitamin and an omega syrup. I just mix them all up into a smoothie. So
That is brilliant.
yeah, she loves it too. Sometimes she just takes the syrup straight. And of course, the PB Assist Junior for kids is like the Pixie Stick. So that's the probiotic they can get. And they love that. It has xylitol as the sweetener. So it's generally considered a more acceptable sweetener. And the kids love it.
So while you're talking about kids, LeeAnn, I've always loved that you had your child right in your doTERRA journey, and your doTERRA journey is all about you, but you used oils on her right from the start. And literally, I just know so many people, including my own children in some cases, that say, we're just going to wait and put the oils on them when they can talk and tell us how they feel when we put them on them. And I'm like, you'll give them a medicine the doctor tells you to do, but you won't use an oil. I have a hard time trying to get them to be convinced. But you used oils on her right from the beginning, right?
Yeah, and actually a lot of my friends have been open to it as well, as they are looking for more natural solutions.
Love it.
They want something that's safe and something that's effective. And I think the things that we use on Val most commonly are, all the touch oils and the kids line. So they're already diluted and ready to go. It's so easy. You can mix them yourself too, but I don't. I just use the ones that are ready. The Tamer blend is the one like Digest Zen, but it's formulated for kids. And generally speaking, the differences that you see between the adult line versus a kid line is going to be that the smells are dialed down. So they use oils that don't have as strong a smell, and they also aren't as tough on the skin. So certain oils, would be considered hot oils, and they're more likely to be sensitive or burn the skin. So, and some people, the kids line is very effective. It can work for adults too. So you might just end up preferring the tamer because it smells way better than the digestion. It's a spearmint versus a fennel or licorice smell, we all have different preferences, but it's something to think about. So the tamer, the calmer for helping to be calm, but also been using a lot for bug bites lately. Gosh, Val gets bit up so fast. She'll have like 20 bites when I turn around. And stronger. Stronger is the one that is like On Guard, but for kids. So those are the three that I use the most. There are reasons to use other ones, but what else? Sorry, I would be a little more focused if I had my slides. So I'm just trying to go through it. Let's see. We got well, those are going back to the LLV and the add-ons. I think we made it through those. Okay, now with supplements, with the LLV especially, consistency is the most important thing. If you're wondering why you're not getting results, and if you're not consistent, that is absolutely the first troubleshooting thing to consider. If you're not taking the full dose, some people choose to take a half dose, or they choose to take it all at one time of the day. That can work for some people. But most people, you're going to want to split it up. It's kind of like eating one meal a day versus 2 or 3. If you eat it one meal a day, you're probably going to get hungry later, right? But you also can kind of train your body to do what you're trying to do, right? So but I definitely recommend taking the full dose and taking it every single day. I split it up, so it's twice a day. It's a lot of pills. It ends up being 12 pills per day. So that's 6 in the morning, 6 in the afternoon, usually. That second dose, often you'll want to take it not right before bed because you may get increased energy and not be ready for sleep. So, and so the vitamin cases, anytime someone orders a LLV for me, that I'll send them one of those organizers because I want them to have success. And that is how I have had success. Exactly. That's the same one I have.
Yep. I love it because it has 2, so I can put my morning and my afternoon. I haven't taken my afternoon yet today. And then I have add in a few things like Terrazyme and PB Assist too.
Mm-hmm. Ah, yes. I cannot hear you, Lee, but I see you.
I have one for each day.
Oh, yes.
And it's
I've
got
seen
rooms.
those.
It's got, yeah. It's
4
got
times a day. One.
more, yeah.
Mhm.
Morning, midday, afternoon, and bedtime.
Gotcha. Yeah, those are great. Anything that helps remind you. So other things that helped me heal was reducing my toxic load. So our bodies are constantly fighting things all day long. We're trying to fend off harmful things from the environment, from our food. We actually put things that aren't really food, but we eat them anyways. And things that we put on our skin, all our hygiene products. So doTERRA has an amazing line of hygiene products, toothpaste, shampoo, new shampoo this month. Who's tried it yet? Anyone?
It's awesome.
Mine just arrived in the mail today. So yes. And So all the skincare products, it's super important. Anything we put on our skin is going to be absorbed into our bloodstream. So if we put toxins in our skin, it's going right into our bloodstream. There are all kinds of toxic hidden chemicals in hygiene products. It's just very common. And doTERRA really cares about keeping the ingredients clean. So laundry detergent, all of that. So helping keep our own environment clean in our home. We want to use all the natural cleaners, and then helping our body stay clean with all the soaps and hygiene stuff.
So if I could repeat, I love to share that my friend that has a house cleaning business, and she and her team do 400 homes every month. She is only allowed to use On Guard cleaning products in the homes of people with cancer. And
Wow.
that is very telling, because they are trying to detoxify their lives like we all should, but they're really worried about what they're going through. And so that's one of the
Right.
standards for them.
That's amazing.
Yep.
So glad they're doing that.
Yep.
So all right, so another problem I have faced off and on, but and really it pops up whenever I'm stressed, is emotional eating. It is a big part of my life. It's something I have to be really aware of, because I will eat all kinds of junk and comfort food. It's my first go-to when something bad happens in my life, when I'm scared, when I'm anxious, when I just can't figure out a problem. That's the first thing I want. And I know some of y'all might not be able to take me seriously because I'm very skinny, but it's like
You have no
big-
problem.
It's a big problem. I will just eat until I'm full, and then I'll eat some more, and I just will feel awful. So doTERRA has some amazing products for this problem. Sorry, not Serenity, the Slim and Sassy. I've been dealing with this problem for my whole life, really, and I've only recently discovered that this works for this problem. So I prefer the soft gels. You can do the oil, it's up to you. Internal usage, probably topically on the belly would work too. But I currently, in my pill case I have every day, because this problem's so consistent for me, I have a Slim and Sassy soft gel. I'm taking it twice a day, one pill twice a day. The general recommendation on the bottle is 3 to 5 times a day. I can never consistently take something 3 times a day. I have, so my schedule is twice a day. So that's what I'm doing. But one soft gel has 5 drops of Slim and Sassy in it. So if you prefer to like drip that in your water instead, you can do that. The other thing, if I feel like that's just not quite enough for me and I'm still having the problem, then I will also use Tamer on my belly. So that's the kids oil, and I like the smell better and whatever, and that helps me. So and then there's some other things that have been helping me, so cleaning up my diet. Let me take a step back. And how much time? 7:33. Okay. When I was really sick, I felt like I could not make any behavioral changes, like with diet and exercise. I had no motivation to do that. So the LLV was that, starting to build that foundation. And once I got really good with that after that year, then I started having motivation and energy to actually do lifestyle changes. So when I got to that point, I started with really simple changes, things that felt like I wasn't sacrificing taste for nutrition, which for me are things like whole wheat bread and brown rice and 100% juice, stuff like that. Now I am at the point where I'm trying to kick it up a notch, and I actually just arrived today. My first order of a meal prep service that is vegan. It's vegan and gluten-free, which I actually like gluten. I don't have a problem with it, but whatever. So if anyone, you can ask me later how it is. If it actually tastes good, hopefully that will be good. And what else? But anyway, I had looked into meal services before, and price, that's one thing. Like, it's a consideration, right? But I never could pull the trigger because I just wasn't really excited about the ingredients. In this case, once I saw like, oh, there's a really clean place, where their ingredients are just the vegetables that right? And then it comes frozen so that you can it's all preserved by being frozen. And so I did want to talk some about mindset, because like I said, like for me, the depression caused all these health problems, right? And I've learned a lot about mindset training and how that affects our physical body. In fact, doing some of this mindset training is what helped me make the decision to do this vegan meal prep service, because I had a very strong attachment to food and I didn't want to make a change, but I had to start asking myself, like, why do I have this attachment? What is it covering up? Because we try to seek happiness sometimes when we can't figure out a problem. So I wanted to share a little something that I made 2 nights ago to help me upgrade my mindset, and super simple. I just have to find it while y'all are watching me.
There was one time I was teaching a class at State PTA, and when I got there, they couldn't get the computer to work, and my whole presentation was all slides too. So I know exactly what you're going through.
Thank you.
That was an 1.5-hour class I had to teach without my presentation, and just
Oh my God.
luckily I had notes on everything, but
well,
no
here it is. Can you see my screen?
You bet.
Okay, so you can see my sunflower there?
Yep.
Okay, great. So pretty pictures. I've got it right up by my bed so that I'm gonna look at it when I wake up, and I'm gonna look at it when I go to sleep. And if you can't read it, it says good morning. And why is today an amazing day? And then it says good night. And what can I learn from today? So what happens is when we ask ourselves questions, our subconscious wants to answer them. So why is today an amazing day? You're going to start coming with all these answers. You go throughout your day. And then at night, when you're ready to settle down, what can you learn? What can help prepare you for tomorrow? So this is just a really simple way to start improving the mindset. So I think I'm just gonna stop there because I don't remember what else.
That's all good. Anybody have questions for LeeAnn? She certainly has had quite a journey, and I wonder if you have a picture of yourself. I wonder if you've ever just said, here's a before and after, because it's not that you weren't always just beautiful and wonderful. You could tell you didn't feel well.
Yeah.
and your countenance was not cheerful and upbeat. And when you don't feel well, and I've gone through that myself in years past, and you don't even want to say hi to the grocery store clerk, or, you know, how are you doing today, Shalene? Surviving, you know, you just don't
Yeah.
have it in you to be upbeat. And
It's true.
you're
I
different.
remember so many times when I would go places and I would be maybe just either shy or I would be bored, and someone would come up to me and ask me like, what's wrong? And I would be like, nothing. I'm just here, you know? So yeah, I was very inside of myself, and um, I had to go through this process and learn how to love myself, because when we love ourselves, then only then can we really love other people and
Yeah.
give what we have to them. There's actually this quote that's really inspiring to me on my wall over there that says, so this is quoted from Emily Wright, and probably a lot of you know this one already. Illuminate your light so bright. By doing so, you're giving everyone around you permission to do the same. Really sweet.
I love
It's
it.
inspiring to me. So yeah.
I love it. If you haven't looked at the chat box, you might look there, because Lee, not you don't have to. I'm just saying, if you want to, Laura and Lee have put some great little tidbits there.
Awesome.
About pets and products and so much great information. LLV, Lifelong Vitality, has changed so many people's lives. It is doTERRA's #1 selling product. If you haven't tried it yet, please consider doing it, and please consider doing it on a regular basis, like LeeAnn said, for a few months. Your cells have to have a chance to regenerate and get your body feeling so much better. And it's
actually, I have one more thing to say about that. So I have been taking the LLV for years, and then I had been reading up about the vitamin IV drips. Have you guys heard about that? Okay, so I see Mara has. Yeah, and there were some people raving on there, especially about chronic issues and how they would go in and get these IV drips. So you go in there, it takes, I don't know, an hour or something, as they drip all these vitamins into your blood, and they just walk out feeling amazing. And I was like, I feel pretty good, but I'll take some extra. Let's go find out. And so I tried this, and I walked out of there feeling the same. And I was like, let's wait and see. And the next day it was the same. And the next day was the same. I'm like, I guess my blood is fully saturated, and, you know, I need to maybe change another lifestyle thing instead of just overload the vitamins.
you have this wonderful LOV instead.
Yeah. And it's cheaper. It's way cheaper. So
We're so blessed. We're so blessed. Thank you for this wonderful information, LeeAnn. Really,
I have a
really
question.
cool. Yeah.
LeeAnn, I know you had narcolepsy. So how are you sleeping without using Serenity or Copaiba? Or that's
actually,
great.
yeah. I when I got off disability, I had to get like permission to enter the workforce or whatever by my narcolepsy doctor. And I went back there and I took the tests and everything. And they just looked at me and they're like, we must have made a mistake before. You're not narcoleptic. And I was like, what? I was like severely narcoleptic. I could, at the time, my tests showed that I could fall asleep within 1 minute on average. And it's just like my brain just, if there was a chance to relax, I'll just turn off. Right. So even with driving, that was
Scary.
really, really scary. That's how I could adequately measure that I was better, is when I learned I could drive all the way to Houston without falling asleep.
That's so awesome.
Mhm.
So awesome.
So wait, did I answer your question? What did you say? Oh, I don't use those products to go to sleeping. Not even Serenity.
Very cool. So the LLV just did it all for you, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, it did. I do take some other supplements still, like the Slim and Sassy, and I do take DDR Prime. Because I still deal with some inflammation, especially post surgery.
Right.
Still.
So could you talk a little bit about DDR Prime? Because Diane and I were having a text conversation last week about why would we need DDR Prime if we're taking the CRS? So
Great
could
question.
you maybe?
I can say some things about it. I feel like John might have a better like comparison answer for you, but for me, it's because Dr. Joy told me to. You know, she muscle tests me. So she told me to. And also, I took my dad to her, and when she muscle tested him, he had just had a stroke a few months before, and it was actually his second stroke. So she muscle tested him for like 4 different anti-inflammation supplements. 3 of them were doTERRA and 1 was something else. And then the DDR Prime. And when she tested the DDR Prime, he didn't need any of the other ones for inflammation, which is strange. It's not something that is the first recommendation for inflammation, but it can, I think, heal some things in our brain and our body to reduce inflammation, like as a secondary effect, it can affect inflammation levels. So that's what I know about it, but you might want to also ask John.
Appreciate it. Any other questions? All right. Thank you, LeeAnn. That was absolutely wonderful and inspiring. Appreciate your time so much. Next week, Lee will be teaching us a class on if you have head tension, what to do. Does anybody know what I mean by head tension? We're supposed to be careful about what we say. We really mean migraines, but we're not going to say that. We're just going to say head tension, okay? So if you have anybody that you know that struggles, Lee is going to talk about a lot of different options. There's more than one because we're all different, and she's going to talk about a lot of different options next week. And we're taking a break the Tuesday after that. We don't do that very often, but we're taking a little summer break, and then come back the Tuesday after that. And I've got a great class ready for you, all on being prepared. And I mean, being prepared for anything in life. It's going to be interesting. Can't wait to have you all there. Please stay on for the business few-minute meeting if you'll want to join us for the business. And love y'all. Hope you're having a great summer.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Kathy.
Kath.
Good to see you.
It's great hearing you. Bye-bye,
Hey,
guys.
Dale. Yes, digest and touch.
Bye.
Digest
Great
and
job,
touch,
LeeAnn.
or use fractionated coconut oil with the regular.
Right.
Or
I
use
have both
Tamer.
available. Yeah.